Hello everyone, welcome back to CSS Learning, and my name is Teza. So last week we have learned the CSS position. So we use a position fix to fix our top menu, and also we use a sticky to like our title, and it will stick a while and then it will go under. We use a Z index to go under, and also we created like a photo template using the like a position absolute and the relative. So and then also to get a center point, we use a transform translate to the negative value 50%. So that's what we have learned last week, guys. So if you missed it, go back to the YouTube, and also make sure to subscribe, turn on notification so that you will notify when we have the new tutorial. Okay, this week we have a lesson content, so that will be like part 7, our ongoing CSS learning series. So and also we will talk about image versus like a background image, so it's not the same. So I want to talk about it. And also in image we have a JPEG, PNG, and we have that will be like a raster group, and we have a SVG, that will be vector group. So that will be, I will talk about it. And also if you use an image, we need to link image in our HTML or in CSS. So we have local linking or hot link. So I want to show you how to do that. And also image background sizing, positioning, we need a shape, we can shape the image. And also if you want to repeat it, you can repeat it. So and also I will end it with the adding a clipping marks to our text. So if you remember to the graphic design, so that will be clipping all the image into your text. And also I will show exporting all the images using the Figma. I mean, like I said, Figma is a web-based tool. It's a free. So I want to show you that will be our lesson content for this week, guys. Okay, to get started, so back to my website. What if we add our creative learner logo at the top? I mean, so that will be image as well. If you go back to any website, so we have Amazon, we have different images. So we will have a little bit rounder shape, like a profile photo as well. I want to show you that one. And also we have, like I said, Amazon logo and also AWS logo. So all the logos are like an image. You can use it like a different format way, So okay, I will add my logo to generate a logo. So I will use a Figma. I mean, so the Figma is it's a free. You can set it up, subscribe it. So now you're gonna have it this screen like me. So to export in Figma, so what you can do is that you select any object to export it. So once you select it, I mean, so the at the bottom, at the right panel, so we have this export tab. If you do not see this way, let's say if I delete it, you won't see anything just like that. If you do not see it, you can click on the plus sign. Now you are activating an export tab. So now you can select it, even you can scale it 1x, 2x, or you can select it a different format. So like I said, we will start with the PNG. I will export my PNG file here. So if I click export, so now PNG file is exported to my download folder. And also I will select the JPEG again, so because I want to show difference. So JPEG, JPEG is something that it will attach the background. Let's say now you see that there's no white background or whatever, but if I export it with the JPEG, so I will show you later. So if I export it as a JPEG, so that will be a JPEG file. And also I will export it one more, that will be SVG, and then I will click on the export again, so that will be exporting as a SVG. So now we get it everything. So I have already prepared, so I have already downloaded. So I will delete everything. I want to show you PNG, so that will be JPEG, and then versus the a JPEG file, so that will be PNG. Okay, so if you use a PNG, so PNG is something that if you do not want the background, you want it transparent, let's say as a logo, logo will be always mostly without a background. So that's why, unless you have a graphic, a composition, we're gonna have a background. But for logo and all the text, we don't need a background. So that's why if you use a PNG, we have a transparent background, and then so we can see the a text without a background. So that will be PNG. If you want it background, even in Figma, I do not have a white background, but if I export it as a JPEG, so Figma or any software, they automatically add the background or like a flatten the image with the background. So that will be JPEG. So JPEG is something a little bit better quality, but there will be no transparency. So JPEG is always clipped to the background, then you will never have a transparent background. So that's a JPEG, and then PNG. And also, like I said, these are the raster group. So if you go back to my content, so these two are the raster group. So raster is something that if you like a scale it, or maybe you like enlarge it. So let me zoom it in. So now what we're gonna see is that raster is a blurry. You're gonna see a little bit jaggy images. So that's a raster images. So if I go back to my PNG, it's the same thing. If you do the PNG as well, it's the same thing. If you zoom in, so you're gonna see like a very blurry. So there will be like all these those like a jagged thing, So you can see that. So it becomes very blurry. It becomes very all this like jagged things. So you're gonna have it. So that's a raster image. Raster group. So that's why we call it PNG. The JPEG, so that will be raster group. But we have a SVG, that will be vector. So vector is something that if you go to your SVG file, just now I download that. So SVG, what we can do is that we can open with the browser. So if you double click it, so it will open in your browser. So if you use an Edge, Firefox, open it. And then now if you zoom it in, so SVG will never be blurry. Now you can see that in my screen. So always it will be stay sharp, clear. So it's a vector base. That's why if the logo or whatever, sometimes so logo will be better with the SVG format. So compared to the PNG, so we do not want a blurry. So you can use a SVG format. So that's something that SVG will be like a vector format and also vector group, and then JPEG and PNG will be blurry, and also it will be raster format. That's the knowledge. Okay, so linking, I think before we link to our image, so I think I will add my logo before the our H1 title, so go to your H1 element. So so even we have learned in our HTML lesson, guys, to add the image, just type img tag. So if I press tab key, now you're gonna have it like this tag set up. So linking as a local is whenever we save our file in our backend folder, so that will be this folder. Because I am using the live server to do that, so that will be in my so this is my big folder, and then I save it my style and then my index inside my folder. And also I save my one more folder as an image folder inside my backend folder. So that will be our local linking. Because you save your all the folder images file inside your backend server. So that what we call is that will be local linking, and then I'm gonna link it. So to link in your image, simply you can start with the a forward slash. So if you have an image folder, you can select your image folder, but sometimes you might need to start with the instead of the forward slash, you might need to start with the dot. So dot is something that if you have one more folder, your style is created. Let's say what I mean is that if you have I'm going to create a new folder, and then I'm gonna say a CSS. So if I copy my CSS, let's say if I save my style file inside the CSS folder, that will be so you have to start with the dot because it's a local linking. That's something that you have to come out of the CSS folder, and then you have to get into the an image folder. So that's a CSS way to locate it. So in the web technology, so if you created one more folder and then you save your style or any a repeated folder, so you have to come out of the a folder that you save your file and then get into another folder. So that will be start with the dot, and then you have to select your folder. So that's a little bit knowledge, guys. So if you do not get your image, you might want to start with that way with the dot. Or for me, I do not have a folder setup, so that's why I added my style inside like the same folder with my index and everything, so images are the only folder I have it, so that's why I will delete it. So my CSS, and also I can just start with the /. So now in the /, what I have is I have this logo photo. So that will be PNG. So if I save it, now you're gonna see my like a PNG start appearing. So like I will edit like alternative. So so that will be logo. So that's a text reference, So that will be our setup. And also you can set up with the like adding as a wrapping as a div. Instead of just simply using the IMG, you can do that. So what we're gonna do is that you can go back to your styling, and then you're gonna start styling in your IMG. But sometimes, in the developer way, we will always, so that individual direct element we will not touch if we want it, mostly because we will always use a class attribute so that we can have a JavaScript or any other others language to so for our website to set up, so we will wrap it inside our div element. So to do that, I will add the div, and then that will be div. I will give a class attribute, so that will be logo. So I'm gonna cut it my image, so cut it back, so that will be here. I'm gonna paste it here, and then I will delete it one line here. We don't need it, so that will be wrapping inside our logo like a div element, giving us a class logo, and also we will wrap our images like that. So once you have done it, you can go back to your style. So that will be CSS file. So now we can just start typing using the margin top, even last week we have learned a position. So we can do it different ways. So let me show so we will select our logo class, and also I will start with the, what if we just say that margin top, so that will be 50 pixel. If I save it, now you can see that my logo is brought it down. But so last week, since we have learned the position, I want to show you our position. And also positions are something that we can push it all the way to the top and also overlap it or on the top, so that will be a good things to do as well. So why not we just start using the position? So that will be relative. I will a top value, I will use it 50 pixel, if the same thing. And then if I save it, now the position, if you set it a relative, now we can use a top value, left value. So now we can start making the so the center alignment or everything. Now the way we want it, we get it. So if I save it, now my logo is at the center. But you might be thinking already it's a center, and also if I make it larger screen, you might think that, oh, it's a logo is already center. But actually the logo is not center, because why I say this. So if I so give a width to my logo, so that will be our sizing. The width will be, what if we just say a 300 pixel for our width, and also height will be auto. So if I save it, now you can see that the logo is not actually center, it's just left alignment. So now we got so things to start making the center alignment. So to get started, what I will do is the same thing last week we have learned. We use a position, absolute, relative, and transform, translate. I will use the same technique. So to do that, add the border so that we can see things are happening. So 1 pixel, that will be solid, and then I'll add it red. So if I save it, now my a border start appearing, and then I will push it 50% to the center. So that will be a left value. So I will push it 50% to the left. If I save it, now you can see that the border edge that will be center, but not the creative, the whole logo, so last week we have learned, so that will be start a border edge will be our center point. But now we have to use a transform, translate to shift my logo all the way to the center. So to do that, what I need to do is I will just simply transform, and then I will translate it to the X value, because we want it left and right. So that will be X value. That will be negative 50%. So if I save it, so the logo will be pushed to the center. Now, actually it's a center. If we size it a 300, so maybe we size it a 400. If I save it, now you can see that the logo is actually at the center. So that's the way we want it, guys. So that's how we can set it up. So that will be like the first to start it like linking as a local, and also like using the giving the size, width, and everything, so to get our logo like as an image tag. And also that will be image linking. Okay, so the next one will be so I think what if we just add the one more image, so that we can see image and then background image. So I want to show you different. So okay, so to do that, so I think I will remove the border from our logo, so we do not need it. And also I think the size also 300 is a little bit better, because like you see on my screen, so that will be, it will better. And then also the a top, I think it's too much. So what if we just say 40 pixel? Yeah, it's not bad. So that will be just like that. So okay, so I will add the one more image. So what if we just add the image after the H1 element before the P, so before the text coming. So I will do the it's the same thing. So after the H1 element, so what I'm gonna learn is I will add the same thing. I will add the one div. So that will be I would say that will be profile photo. I want to show different things, so profile photo, and I want to show you that will be class attribute. So that class attribute, so that will be profile, and then I will give a profile photo. So you can give it a dash with the photo, so that it will be photo. And then also I'm gonna edit same thing in the adding as an image tag. So the other one will be background, so I will show you later. So now I will link it as a hot link. I want to show you how to link the hot link as well. So now I do not have any source that in my folder. Let's say for instance, so maybe there will be some use cases you might need to use your web to link it. So that will be whenever you use linking from any other web server or any other places, so that will be hot linking. So let's say for us it's if I go back to my browser, so we have this Pixabay, so I can link it as a hot links. And also guys, keep in mind that using the hot link is not very ethical, and also big no even if you do the Google search. So let's say so local versus so hot linking, hot link. So if I type it that way, we're gonna have this a little bit warning that you're gonna see it that will be, it's not very good practice, legal and ethical concern. So hot linking without a permission can be a form of copyright issue, so that's why the hot link is not very it's not very ethical. It's not should do it because bandwidth issues. So somebody is paying the money for your website, so because you use a hot link. So that's why I want to before we do the hot link, and then keep in mind that it's a big no. You should not do the hot link, but I want to show you as a teaching purpose. So that's without the permission, without the so the license or make a payment, so the hot link should not be used. Okay, now we have an image from a Pixabay. So if I right click it, open image in the new tab, so go to the your this tab, so that will be here. So now we have this image. Actually the image is you can see that now https and then pixabay.com is hosting the image. So the hot link is we should know sometime because let's say you have a AWS a S3 bucket, so let's say you buy the S3 bucket from Amazon AWS, and then you you keep all your pictures in your bucket. So that time, so it's the same method. We have to use it the hot link images. So now I show you, go to your image. Now go to your URL bar. You can select it, the whole link. If I copy it and then go to your HTML, you can paste it inside your source format. So that will be hot linking. And also, like I said, if you have a very you bought it your S3 and then you get it from an S3 the bucket, so it's okay. But you're using the Pixabay as a hot link, it's a big no. Like I said, we should not do that. But like I said, it will be teaching purpose. So that will be hot linking pasted your link. So if you go back to your like a website again, now we're gonna see our picture will be appear here. So that will be local versus hot link. So the creative learner, we link it as a local from our server, and hot link is something that you use a HTTPS and then you link it as a hot link. So that will be like a hot linking. Okay, so I think that will be like so the logo, I think the hot links, and also so since we have learned the just now in our content, so we talk about like a PNG, SVG. So what if we want it like a PNG is a blurry, because now in my logo it's a really blurry. If I zoom it in, it's gonna get blurry. So what if we want it like a SVG to be in our website? So to do that, it's a little bit tricky. So I will comment it my hot link tag here, because I will go back to my logo. I want to show like a PNG, and then we can use a local link, and also SVG I want to show you. So to get the SVG file in your browser, it's a little bit different ways to do it. So what we can do is go to your SVG file and then open it. That will be open in your browser, and then right click, that will bring up your developer tool, and then click on the like a SVG tag here, right click it, and then edit as a HTML. You select it, or Control A, that is selecting everything, all this number, so it's a path tag, SVG tag, all these numbers selected, copy it, and then you go back to your HTML. So that will be our Visual Studio Code. So now we're gonna remove it, this IMG, even I can comment it, and then now I'm gonna paste it including the SVG like a tag. Now you paste it like a SVG tag from your browser, and then if I save it, that will be the same. If you go back to your browser, now you can see that my logo is started appearing, and then it just that we need to style it a little bit different way, so that's how we can add our SVG file in your HTML. Sometimes so it's a different use cases. You might need it like a very vector sharp clear images for your website, so you have to do it that way. Use your developer tool, get the SVG tag, and then paste it your HTML. Now we get it. But now the problem is that now it's not center, it's not the correct size. If we put it back our like a border box to our this div, so that will be border. So if I say 1 pixel, if I save it solid, that will be red. So if I save it now, you can see that actually it's a small box, but the logo is really big. So to fix that, so it's a little bit different with the PNG and JPEG way, So for SVG, simply you can just add SVG element like a specific. That will be like a combinator, So because we only a styling using the class attribute, so with the logo class, because we have this logo class, we name it, and also SVG is inside our div. So to select our SVG, you just edit SVG element, that will be class element combinator, and then so now if you save it, so it's the same thing, same technique, just that a little bit different, PNG and JPEG, just you can do the styling on your a div, but for SVG is you have to edit an individual element, SVG element as you see on my screen. So do that way, now you're gonna get it back everything the same. You have this logo, and then if you zoom it in, so that will be very sharp, very clear, because it's a vector format. So if it's a knowledge, if you want to do it that way, so to add the SVG file in your browser, I will put it 400 pixel for this time, so to get it a little bigger. Yeah, so that will be vector format SVG file, add in your website. Okay, so now we have done a hot link, and then local, and then SVG JPEG. Okay, so I will go back to this time. I think I will edit a background image and image, so that will be different. I want to show you as well. I will remove the border box here, and then I will save it. Okay, the next thing is I will add one more image. It's the same thing just now we did it. So I will go back to my HTML, and then I will get it this a hot link thing. So I will get to my image instead of a hot link. So I will uncomment it, this one, select it, uncomment it, and then now I will remove all our hot links. So I will remove it. So now I will get my local folder. So that will be start with the / because I have an image folder. Like I did not save my CSS in another folder. So now I get it image folder. I will add like a profile folder, so that will be photo 3. And then also I'm gonna give it, that will be my so that will be profile. So let's say if I save it, so I give a class name here as like a profile, and then profile photo, and then I edit like a linking as a local, and then if I save it, now you're gonna see the image. That's my son and my wife, guys. So okay, I want to show you. So this is adding an image as a HTML img element. So we have different ways to add the images. So the other, what if the other way, I will show you the other way as well. So to do that, so the other way is I will copy the same thing. So it's a div. I'm gonna paste it. So this time I'm going to edit, that will be like, so I will not add any image here. I do not need it. So this time I'm going to change my class attribute name to be like a background. So that will be BG. That will be BG, like profile. Because I want to show you like adding as a background image in CSS versus adding as a img tag in your HTML. So now I'm not adding anything. I will just like keep it as a blank. I will do anything. Even you can edit like a little bit text, so that will be background image. So if I save it, so that will be p tag. If I save it now, you're gonna have a background image at the top. Also it will be better. So that will be like img p, and then there will be image element. So that will be image HTML element, so that we can see like a little bit different. So now I'm going to save it. So that's a HTML element image. So that was background image. The bottom one. So bottom one, I haven't added any image in my HTML. But what I'm going to do is if I go back to my CSS, so now I'm going to select it, both class. So that will be, the first one will be profile photo. So that will be profile dash photo, and then the other one will be, the other one is dot, and then that will be like I think I gave it like a BG dash profile. So that will be BG dash profile. So let me double check. So yeah, so that will be BG profile, and then profile dash photo. Okay, so if I save it, so now like a HTML element is already like a started appearing, but background I do not get it. But for background, what I will do is I will just add my background photo is I think what if we just do the like same thing, so that will be like so on the like a background like image. So to add the background image like using the CSS, so in your div or in your like HTML like a div element, here. So to do that in CSS, you can edit like a background image. So start with the background image, and then you're gonna use a URL with the parentheses. So that's I am not adding my image in HTML, but I am embedding, or maybe I am adding my image using the background image property in CSS. So now you type it that way using the URL. Now it's the same thing. The link is you can do the hot link or you can do the local. So that will be local. We have it like a /, and then also do not forget like I think you have to add the like a double quote, and then /. That will be image, and then go to your profile photo 3. I think I can do the same thing. So that will be, if I save it, now you're gonna have this background image. Now you can see that a little bit different. So the first one is using as a HTML element. The second one is background images. But now the difference, the background image is not showing everything. You can see that like, so it's already cut off to the top, So the adding as a background is one thing you have to take note, is that you have to give a value to it. So to do that, give the value. So what I'm going to do is I will add the value that will be weight, and also I have to define it. Let's say if you want it really big, that will be pixel, 500 pixel, and also height. So that will be, so we have to define it. You can put it like auto. So if I save it, even auto is not, sometimes we cannot use it. Sometimes we have to put it like a height will be, what if we just say like 500 pixel, because we are like defining our div to be our like main content, and then we are like adding our background image to our div. So that's why I need to fix like give a width and height, and also I can like add a border so that we can see what's happening. So 1 pixel, and then solid, that will be red. So if I save it, now you can see that the both, I mean like, so the bottom and the top one, the image started appearing. But the difference between is adding as a like a div element, and also adding, I mean sorry, the background image, and also adding as a HTML element is a little bit different. So they are both are appearing, but now you can see that things are a little bit different. I mean like the top one is affixed to the like the whole width, and then the background is a little bit just like that. Okay, so to style it, I mean like, so even you can see the background thing, so you can start seeing that the background one is repeating. I mean you can see it's like if I stretch it out, so if I make it like the width to be really high, it's gonna be repeated. Let's say if I edit like my background width to be like 1000, so you're gonna see repeated image. So because that's my red box, so let me make it up a little bit 2 pixel. So that's how like adding as a background versus adding as an image elements, guys. So you're gonna have repeated things, you're gonna have a little bit different way to style it. So what I'm gonna do is I think I will do the like I mean like, so making the like a little bit like back to the top element, you know. So to do that, I will just like what if we just push it up a little bit top margin, so that we can have a little bit like that will be top. So I will add it like so that will be top, and then like I think we have to do the like margin top, so that will be 100 pixel. I think test it out if I save it, yeah, so that we can see a little bit different. Okay, I will go back to my like HTML element image. So now what I will do is I will add the border to my image. So to do that, so what I can do is I might cursor a little bit big. So I think what if we just, I think I have to like exit my like HTML again. So do that again. So here, so that will be, I think I need to like reload it. So if I reload it, so now we're gonna have this thing, yeah. So that will be, yeah, so now we have a little bit cursor. Okay, so we are back, and then now you can see that my image, I mean like back to my HTML image, you know. So I just want to show like a little bit preview, but we will go in depth later. So back to my image, like adding as a HTML element. So what I can do is in the class folder, so I will start adding the border so that we can see a little bit different. Border is like if I say the border to be like 1 pixel, and then solid, and then I will put it like same thing, it's a red, so that we can see. And then now you can see that, so if I add the border to my HTML, I mean like the like I mean the like the my image element, you know. So now you can see that the whole thing is becoming like a box, and then also you can see a little bit like a gap here. I mean like, so at the bottom, what you can see is that now you can see that the bottom one has a like a little bit gap appearing. So that's why adding as a like a element is like you will not get it very accurate. So we need to remove that gap. I mean actually, if you get it really detailed, we don't need the bottom gap. I mean like, we need to remove it because the box should be like touching to the image. So but for background image, it's a good thing, so we can compare it. So there is no gap if you see the background image. So if I put it like a little bit sizing to the, so that we can have it like what if that will be 502. So you're gonna have it, there's no like a white gap, but in the background images touching everything exactly. But for the HTML element image, you can see the white gap. So that's different, and it's also adding like different ways, you know. So that will be, keep in mind one thing, guys. Okay, so how can we remove this like a white gap from our like image from the top? That will be like a HTML element, you know. So okay, to remove that, I mean like, you might be thinking, what if like we just like push it, make it enlarge it? So we might be thinking like give a width, you know. So that will be width to be like same thing. I'm gonna add it like what if 500 pixel, and also I'm gonna give it like height. So this time I'm gonna say like auto. If I save it, now you can see that the width and height, it doesn't matter because I mean like, so not like like the width is too high or the height is like too long. It's not depends on the width and height. Like because the image itself is it's a inline element. So if you remember, we talked about it, inline and block level element. So all the images are the so that will be inline element, even if you see that like a background thing. So the block level element will stretch all the border to the stretching the full width. You see my text, so that will be stretching the full width. But for images, you see that it's an inline, so it will stay to the width and then the height. That will be inline element. So that's why the inline element, so that is appearing the white gap in our top image. So to remove the white gap from the image, so the only way to do is that you cannot style it, edit anything into your div, because so let's say if you go back to HTML, you might be thinking, what if we just style it into our class like a profile photo? And then you might be thinking, okay, so what if we add a display? We can force it, so we have learned already. So that will be, if we force it to be like a display block, so that will be in our a div element to my element. So it doesn't make any changes. So the gap is already there, so we are not removing. So that's why, so keep in mind that if you are adding as an image, so you need to edit one class attribute, so class property. So that will be individual element, that will be image tag, because we need to select our img tag, and then we need to define it as a block. So that will be display, and then once we define it, all the img, even we call it, that will be universal, or maybe it will be utility, so we have a img, we have a h1, we have a p, so all these are the utility. You can set it now if you set it all the image, we want it without the gap, we want to display as a block. So if I save it, bang. Now the only way to fix the gap is you have to individually, you have to declare it in your CSS as a block level element. Now you can see that the white gap is disappear, and then now we have exactly the way we want it. It's the same, but the other thing is that for background is that the good thing is that we need to declare it. Using as a background is one advantage, is that there's no gap. The width and height exactly the way we want it. But the downside is that now you can see that the image are repeating, and also it's not getting to the center. That's a background image, the downside. But for there's a advantage and disadvantage, because using, like I said, in my content, there will be an image versus background image. So now you can see that a little bit different. So that's I think big difference between background and image. Because the others is the same. Once we get it, so we can do the sizing, so anyway we want it. So if you want to push to the center, so for the image above, so I can use the margin left to be auto, and then I can use margin left right to be auto. So if I do that, we're gonna have it to the center, and also it's the same thing to the bottom one. I think it's the same. If you want it center, we're gonna just use it a margin left to be auto, and also I will use it margin right, that will be auto. So if I push it up, so now you're gonna get it same. And also the other difference, so the image and then the background image. So what if we went to make a shape? So shape will be a little bit different. So let's say I want to shape it. So I think I can remove all the text now, because the text is a little bit confusing. So go back to HTML, delete all the P element, and then I think I will delete it from the bottom one as well. We do not need it because I think it's a little bit making confusing. I will delete it. Now we do not have a text, so that will be better. Okay, let's say if you want to shape it, because in CSS, if you remember, we have a border box that we can do some different shapes. So if you want the different shape in your image, so what you have to do is that you might be thinking go to your the class like attribute, so that will be our profile photo class, that will be div. And then you might be thinking in the div element, you go to border, and then we can do the border radius. So that will be 20 pixel. If you want to change your the border corner, so we call it in CSS, that will be border radius. And then I added like a 20 pixel. If I save it, now you can see that the image does not make it wrong. It stays the same, like a sharp corner. But for the background, let's say if I want it like a border radius, if I say 20 pixel, if I save it, so now you can see that the different, so the shape is a little bit different. And also the just now I showed the gap is a little bit different using the background and then using the image, so that will be the downsides, using the different methods, guys. So so now IMG is the top photo, so if we really we want it cutting the corner, so what we need to do is instead of doing the individual, now we have a profile photo that's related to our IMG. So the way to get it, everything cutting the corner for our images, so we have to cut our image element and then combine it. So that will be selecting as a combinator, and then I will add my display block here. So I will cut it out from here. So that will be display block, because we do not want to see the white gap. And also if you want it round radius, we need to select it the right element, and then if I save it, now you're gonna have it the same effects that round the corner. So that's a little bit difference to structure, and then to do the styling for image and then background image, guy. I think that's it, a shape and then a little bit white gap. You have to declare it like a display block. For background, we do not need it. If you without declaring any display block, you're gonna have it without a gap, and then you can style it anything in your background image. Okay, so that will be the shape. And also I want to show you a little bit shape thing, since we are talking about the background shape and then border shape. So if you want it border radius, so you can do that border radius to be 20 pixel, and also you can do that 50 pixel, so any amount you want it. And also if you want it one corner only, that if you want it, we have a little bit shorthand to break it down, so that will be so border top, and then I can say a border top left. Even we can say a border top left radius. I want it that will be a little bit big rounded corner. So if I save it 100 and 50 pixel, if I save it, now you can see that a little bit shaded this way. So that will be one corner will be really big shape, the other corner will be a little bit rounded shape. So sometimes you're gonna see a little bit shape. That's a styling in your border radius in your border. So that's defining a shape in our border, our element, so I will put it back 30 pixel. And then what if we want it the bottom one, so that will be the bottom, right, a radius. So to do that, so just type it border radius. So that will border, I think that will be border bottom, and then gonna type it dash right radius, and we'll put it 100 pixel, 150. And then if I save it, now you're gonna have it a little bit this shape. Okay, like I said in Amazon, so if you remember, we have this circle, a little bit rounded, so circle shape. So to do the circle image in your so in CSS, what I can do is it's simply you add one more. It's a cascading, guys, so if I can edit more. So to do that, just edit border radius, so to reshape it to your border. So when you reshape your border, so the image also reshape it, because the borders, in CSS everything is a box model. So that's why if you define reshaping your border, it will follow all the image, all the element to your border shape. So now I'm defining border radius to do the circle in your so any element, so just type it 50%. So instead of the a pixel value, so we can do that a percentage. If I say 50%, if I save it, now you're gonna have it a little bit a border radius to be that way. So right now we're not getting a circle shape, because I mean like the width and height is not the same. So if you wanted the circle like a width and height to be the same amount, I mean we cannot use the auto, so I will go back to the height and then I will put it height 500 pixel. If I save it, now you're gonna have it same width and height amount, but now you can see that now the width and height it stretch it. I mean like, so that's the downside as well. If you do that like in your photo, you shape it using the like element, you know, so now you can see that a little bit like images like squeezing. I mean like it's not like proportional like making the proper shape. I mean that's the downside as well. You want it like play with the shape, play with the all these like a different like I mean as a controls, you know. So adding as an image element is not good. I mean like it will be I mean like, so you're gonna see a little bit stretching. Now you can see that a little bit like differences. I mean like, so that will now be a little bit downsides for using the HTML elements guy. Okay, so now I will go back to my bottom one. So that will be adding as a background image. Okay, I think for the top one is that's it. I think much, I mean, we do not have much to talk about it, you know, so that will be the bottom one. Okay, back to the background image. So that will be BG profile. If you remember, I just added one div and then adding like an image using the CSS URL as a background image. So that will be our background. Okay, now here, that will be our background. So to do that, the background, I mean, like, so what I'm going to do is the same thing. I will add the border radius. So I want to show you like the good things about it. So that will be 50%. And also, if you want a circle, you need to have like a width and height to be the same. You know, circle is the same width and height. So if I save it now, using the background image is that not straight. I mean, it look like I mean, it's not squeezed. You know, so that will be like maintain the like proportionally. I mean, you can see the picture is a little bit better. But the problem is we do not have the center point right now for the background image. So for the top one, we have a center. But in the background image, we can play around so many things. So let's say now the problem is that you want to center in your background image. What you can do is you can center your background like a position. So just type it like a background. So that will be, sorry, so that will be background position. Now you're going to have it like what do you want it like? So that will be a center. If you say the center, now you can see the image move to the center. And also if you want it like you can, so that will be when we say the position, you know, we have a X position, that will be left, right, Y position, that will be top and bottom. If you want it like a little bit like I mean like, so the left to be percentage, we can do that with the percentage as well. I believe, so that will be, let's say 50%, and then the like 50% for the Y value. If I save it, yeah, so if I like reduce it, so the left and right, what if we just say like a 20%? So if I say now move a little bit to the right, so if you want it, so that's a little bit good thing about the using like an image as a background, like in CSS, you know, so like you see on my screen, background image as a URL. So that will be a little bit advantage. I mean, like, you can play around, so you can put it like the way you want it. So let's say it's too much, so I can like a left and right center to be 25%, and then if I save it now, you're gonna get it the way exactly at the center. And also it does not like I mean like stretching proportionally, not like a squeezing or like I mean like, so you're distorting, you know, so that will be maintaining your picture as a good resolution. Okay, so that will be like a shaping is a like in your background image. And also I want to show the other thing. I mean like, so that I will remove the like I mean border radius 50%, you know, so I think I will remove it. So it's a different ways, guy. I mean like border top radius, border left, you can play around, since I will be homework. And so I will remove it the border. So what if we just say like instead of the border radius, so that will be, I think border radius, I will put it like a 10 pixel only. So that will be a little bit better. So 10 pixel. I want to like a little bit make it like a big width and height. I want to show you something as well. That will be, width will be, what if we just say 600 pixel. And also the height will be, I want to stretch it like all the way to the bottom, like 800 pixel if I stretch it. Now the problem for the background is now we have this repeated image. So in the using the so background is that we have a different properties and values we can control everything. So now it's a repeating. So for picture we do not want it unless you are creating a really specific pattern, so now you can do that maintain the repeating. So in background repeating, if you do not want it, so what I can do is I can just say background a repeat, and then I can say no repeat if you do not want it. So now if I save it, now you can see that background repeat will be removed, but you see that the width and height it's because I want to show repeating, I can now resize it, but I will keep it that way as well, because if you do not want to repeat your image, you can do the background not to be repeat. But and also if you make it a big image, you can do that way as well. And also the other thing, if you have a really what if we just make it a little bit wider, so if I put it even width, I'm gonna set it 100%. So if I save it, so I want it a width to be 100% full stretching. But now you're gonna see the problem, so if I do the background image, so now you see that I put my a div element, the box to be the full width 100%, but the image is not following. Images are staying with the it should be stretching the full page. If you go down, you can see that all the image are stretching to the full container, so our red box. But now the image is not stretching. But to do that in your background image, if you use that way as a background image, so it's the same thing. We have another property called background image size, so that will be background sizing. So now what we're gonna is at this time I can say if you want it full stretching, I can use a cover. So if I say the cover, now you can see that a little bit different. So so unless you want to use a profile photo, we don't need to do that a cover, but you want it a really your a website stretching the full your web page as a background, so the nature picture or landscape, you want to stretch it. Now you can use that background size, that will be cover. Now it will be stretching, it will be filling up every space, and then you do not have any space. But right now it's not good because we have a little position to play around again. So that will be 25. It's I think we're gonna have it a 15 big, a 15, or maybe we need it more, so that will be 30 pixel. Yeah, so now we have to play around again with the a background position. So background is a good, you have a little bit, you can control so many things. So now that will be filling up the whole box for your div element or the whole a container box. So and then the other things, so what if you want it not filling up? So what I can do is I can maintain, so that will be background size. I'm going to maintain it. So if you want it maintained, so that will be contain. So if I save it, so now it's the same thing. It's a beginning. It will be a default, so because if you do not add the cover, the default is contain. It will maintain your width. So that will be the way it is. So, but the content is a little bit different. If I remove it cover and if I comment it out, yeah. So because so the picture will be a little bit at the center without filling up. So if you use a contain is a good, so if I do the little bit larger screen, so now you can see that it will contain it, fill it up the whole our div element box, and then it will do the containing your element, because we use our div to be our background image. So that's why so now the div is filling up. So if you use a contain, so that's how we're gonna see it. Okay, so the other thing is I think so the other thing will be background image position repeat size. I think that's it for the background. So if you want to fill it up, if you want to stretch it the full cover, you're gonna use it a background cover. If you want to maintain it, that will be maintain it. For the shaping, you can play around with the border radius. You can a border whatever size you want it, so now I think so I think back to my content, so that will be masking our text. So that will be the last tutorial. Okay, so now I want to show you something. Okay, let's say now that will be so I will edit what if we just add the one photo, so the text, so that will be, what if we just add the text. So instead of the, I think I will keep it that thing here. So we have too many images. So now we know that difference between the image element and then background image. So I will delete the so the top photo, you know, so it's not like a proportionally like a sizing. So I will delete it, and also I will only keep the bottom one as well. So to do that, so go back to your image. So that will be deleting this profile photo. And then what if we just say like a BG profile, and then I'm gonna say it, that will be element, that will be profile, and then photo. So if I save it like a profile photo, if I save it, yeah, so we're gonna have a little bit text, and then I'm gonna make it like a sizing, like I said. What if we want it like a border radius? So we want it back, so that will be border radius. We want it like I think we already have it, so the only thing is that we can just like make it the same size, you know. So that will be, instead of 100%, so I want to go back to the maybe like a 400 pixel width, and then height to be 400 pixel. So that will be our profile photo. I want it circle, so that will, I will save it. So, and also like I gave it like border radius, so because there's a cascading 10 pixel, I need to remove it. So that will be circle, and then now we get it the way we want it. So if you want it like a containers, containing your like a picture, it's not filling up. So if you want to fill it up, so it's the same thing. I can put it background. Even at the top, I can cut it. I mean, it's a cascade, so I will put it here. I think I will remain it that contain, and then for the bottom, if I use a cover, now you're gonna get it. I mean, so you want to play around the position, so that will be like 20 pixel. Yeah, it's too much, so that will be, I think, 35. And then now we're gonna have it like a background sizing. Also, we can play around. I mean, a contain cover, and so that will be our profile photo. So for the text, if you went to the center, I think what we need to do is, I think we're gonna have it like a little bit like even we don't need the text, you know. So even we remove it, the text, we don't need it. So just remove it, the text, save it. Yeah, so that will be using the background. And then the last thing I want to show you like so filling up the text, and then like clipping marks. So what if we do that like a clipping marks on our welcome to CSS learning, you know. So that will be, I think that will be better. Or yeah, so I think that will be, let's take a look. So I will do the H1 to clip it. So to do that, what I'm going to do is using the background image as well. So to clip your text, we need to use a background image. We have a different ways to do it, but for us, we will use a background clip, you know. So to do that, so I will just select it, my H1 element. I'm going to edit background image. So that was background image. So this time, I'm going to select it really like the image that will be URL. I'm gonna like a link as a local, so that will be user, do not forget the double code, and then / image, and then I will use it. I think that will be photo 1, I guess. So if I save it, yeah, that will be photo 1. And also it's the same thing. So the H1 element box is a little bit small, so we do not have like a width and height, you know. So that's why you can define it, the width and height. So let's say if you want it a little bit like a width to be like 100%, and also you want it height to be like a little bit like what if we just say like 300 pixel. So to test it out, yeah, a little bit high. So now we have it text just like that. So now I want to clip my text. So text align center, you can do that. So text align, so that will be center if you want it to the center. And then so like so the alignment, and then so that will be like a centering. So okay, so now my background is not showing. It's the same thing if you want it. So the background to show everything, you can go to the background sizing. I can use a cover to fill it up. So that will be my maintaining my like a H1 element, and then adding my background as a so the like a covering or like a fitting, you know. So let's say you use a cover, or you can use it like a background, and then size to be contained. So just now we talk about it, so that will be contained if it's the same. Contain is a little bit like maintain your image original size, and then it will repeat it. So now we do not want to repeat it, so it's the same thing, background repeat. We do not want to repeat it, so that will be no repeat it. So if you want it no repeat, even we can repeat it because it's like a repeating in our text. It doesn't matter, you know. So but like yeah, what if we just say like repeat is a default, so that we can see it a little different. So we're gonna repeat it. And also I want it like instead of a contain, I want it cover. So it will not repeat right now, just like that. And I think I will make my text to be really big, so that will be better. I mean, so I think what we're gonna need is it will be better with the I think instead of the let's try it out. I mean, so hopefully we can see it. So and then font family, so I'm gonna change it for the bigger font, so I will use it like a Gilson. And then font weight, so I'm gonna edit font weight. So we have learned, guys, so that will be typography. And then 900, so if I save it, my text really big. And then font size, so I'm gonna give it like what if we just say like 8 rem, you know, so really big font. So is it too much? I mean, so 8 rem is a little bit too big, so that will be 3 rem if I save it. Yeah, so I think so instead of the like because I want to clip it my image, but we're not seeing, you know, so I want to show a little bit different. So 3 rem, maybe 5 rem. So yeah, so that will be a little bit better. And then line height, so what if we just say line height, so that will be line height. I'm gonna say like a 0.8 if I save it. Yeah, so that will be a little better. Okay, so now we got it. So that will be text line. And also padding, I'm gonna edit to the padding, so that will be like what if we just say 20 pixel if I save it. Yeah, so I think the text is not like we do not have a padding, so I think I will keep it that way. We have to use a position, but we will leave it that way. Now we're gonna clip it like our text, you know. So to do the clipping in your background image to the text, so to do that, you just type it like a background and then clip. So now you're gonna clip it to where? So that will be clip it to the text. So now if I save it background to the clip it to the text, right now you won't see anything because I mean like so in CSS way, so clipping to the text, but the text color is we have this solid blue. So what we need to do is you need to like select, because in text color you have a property called color. So that's now we define it like say it's a blue, you know. So if I say like a blue, now you're saying like a blue. If you put it like I mean like, so what if we just say red, so see different. So if I say red, so because of the background color, I am not seeing any like a background clipping. So if I wanted the clipping, so I need to remove this red color from my text. So to do that, so we have learning. So what we can do is click on the block. You can bring it down all the transparency all the way to the bottom. That will be 0 transparency. And then if I save it, now you start seeing the image like a background image. I mean like right now it's at the like not really seeing. So what if we just make it a little bit font size to be like a 5 rem to be like a 6 rem. Yeah, so now like a little bit like you can see that, but background we can like a position, you know, so we can play around with the background position. So that will be background and then position. I want it like what if we just say like 50 and 50, so that will be like left and right. I just say left and right to be 50, and then top and bottom I want it a little bit push it up, so that will be 30% to test it out. If I save it, yeah, we want it more, so that will be 10%. If I save it, so it's too much, so that will be 50%. So yeah, now you can see that the background, the flower is coming up. So what if we just say like a little bit like 65%. So now you can see that the picture is a little bit clipping. So that's how to clip the text into your background image, guys. So now we can remove a border. If I remove a border, so if I like a border color, you know, so that will be border color. So if I remove it, sorry, so that will be a border color, so dash and then color to be like that. Now I think we can set it, so that will border color. I think we have to say it like a border. I think that will be, I think we will keep it that way, so border. So okay, so now you can see that the point is So the welcome to CSS learning is clipping to the background using the background clip to the text. Like I said, the color has to be transparent, because if you do not keep the transparent, if you have a red color, it's going to show you the red color, because like the background is like it's like a layer stacking. The red is a stacking on top of the background. So that's why we are not seeing. You need to use a transparency to bring it down so that we can see it. And also the other way, if you want the transparency in your so in your CSS, the other way what we can do is that you can just type it color, without giving any name, you can just say like a transparent. So that's also the same thing. If I save it, it's the same thing. So if you say transparent, so it means like a completely transparent, and then it will appear the background image. So that's how we can clip it, our text to the background image, guys. So you can see a little flower here, so hopefully you can see it. So that's it. I can push it up like a margin, that will be margin top, let's say like a 30 pixel. I think 20 pixels. So if I save it, so that will be margin top. So I think it's going up, so minus like 20 pixels, I guess. No, so I think we cannot use a margin even, because we have something like at the top, we have a lot of things that we have learned. So that will be that way. Okay, so that's what I think. So today tutorials, guys. So back to my content. So what we have is like an image. We talk about it, background image. So the difference between, so you can do the shaping, and then we're gonna see that a little bit different. So like a little gap, So display block only can remove it. And also we talk about it. So recap. So we have like PNG, JPEG, raster, SVG. We talk about it, and also linking as a hot link, and like a positioning, shaping, and then repeating as a like X and Y value. You can do that. So that will be, you can just say like a repeat, and then so what we can do is a background to be repeat, and also I can say like a repeat X value. So that will be repeating 11, right? If I say it that way, it's going to repeat it 11, right? So you can do that if you want it. So even you can like instead of the cover fill, so you can do that. So background repeat Y. So it's the same thing. You can repeat it X value, Y value. That will be our background repeating. So I think the content is completed with the background clipping. Yeah, that's it. So that's it for this week tutorial, guys. Hopefully you liked the tutorial. I believe you have something to take away. If you do so, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on notification, like it, share it, and I hope to see you in next tutorial.